Jack gets a lot of questions about how to handle a garter carriage with a problem. In this series, he's showing you how to clean and lubricate one. Today's video is on lubrication. You are about to see Jack using a silicone-based lubricant. Do not use a petroleum-based lubricant in the same manner because of the danger that would pose to the electronic parts. Forgive the shakiness. I'm having to hold my hand again so that you can see what Jack wants you to see.
Alright, we're going to lubricate, and I'm operating the drive wheel for the motor by hand. Notice this piece that's moving here, and then watch. The other end of that slide comes out. Now I can make it go back and forth at this point by operating the wheel back and forth. And what I want to do, without getting any on the camera, is lubricate that end of it, move it all the way back, and lubricate this end of it. We want that to be a really smooth movement as that shuttlecock goes back and forth. Now, let me direct your attention here also. Look at what we've got. Here's another movement area. Back and forth, in and out. Alright, there we go. Get it in one position. Give it a good squirt. Then let it operate by hand till it's in the next position. And then you can make sure that you're getting these things well lubricated.
I doubt if they can hear on the film, but I can hear the metallic noise decreasing.
Yes, yes, and we all know the sound of a garter carriage operating.
Boy, that got quiet.
Yeah, it did. And the thing is that it should be just the sound of the movements themselves, not excess sound. Now this is the area that we want to concentrate on at this time, and then we're going to go on to the next area. But I want you to see, and there's my shuttlecock moving again all the way to the end of its throat, so we go right in that slot, because if you'll notice, this will come up, but this piece, we don't want you to have to take that off. I do sometimes to lubricate what's underneath there. But if we lubricate from the outside in such a way that we get the full movement of that shuttlecock right there, then we won't have to take this off. So again, maintenance on your part saves you paying me on my part, and I don't mind helping in any way that I can, but a little bit of maintenance goes a long way. Now we're going to flip it over. Alright, again, I'm being the drive motor. Look at this set of movements and this scissor arm right here as it rises up and down. What you want to do is manipulate it by hand till you get it at the top of the throw and lubricate it. Now keep going around, and you notice a movement here too. Everywhere you see a movement as you rotate this drive wheel, you want to lubricate so that when the machine is running, again, if you'll notice, this end also moves back and forth. It's not fixed. So a little squirt on either end.
Let's back off and show them where on the garter carriage we are.
Alright. We were on this side. We've gone all the way to the back of the garter carriage. Everybody knows where the sensors are. And underneath here is where your feed dogs live. And while we're there, these are your feed dogs right in here that walk the machine. And while we're in there, let's give them a little squirt.
Is there any place that people should be really careful not to get the lubricant on?
No. Actually, we'll go into what we're using right at the end of the video.
We've already removed the only electronic portion, right?
Well, no. Here, this whole electronic plate right here.
Oh, okay.
We're never going to spray that, but we are going to spray inside here. However, the reason we're using this silicone lubricant is it will not conduct current. A petroleum-based product will. But we'll go into that.
I'm going to give you a brief look, but he'll explain it later.
Right. Why we're using what we use. Now, I ask you to go back to the first video to get an idea of how dirty we were when we started. And one of the things we talked about was this movement right here. Now, if you'll notice, this post rises and falls right there, okay, as we go back and forth. This has to shuttle, that has to shuttle, this has to shuttle, and that just moves on the surface. Now, one position, everybody gets a squirt, other position. And what that's just letting us do is get down inside the machine with this lubrication. Now, that's what I'm talking about. But now each one of these posts, either it rises and falls, as you see that one doing, or something rises and falls on that post. Go back and look at the first video. This was places where that old black grease was concentrated.
It ringed each position.
Right. Now, what that tells me is, okay, these need some serious lubrication. And you notice what I'm doing. I'm only spraying the top of the post. We're going to leave it in this position for a minute and let it soak down that post. Now, as we rotate, look, watch those guys. See what they just did? Now they're in the lowered position. Okay, hit them again. And all I'm doing is, watch, this is the drive wheel that the motor is hooked to. So what I'm doing is operating that by hand. And if you'll notice, I'm turning toward the needle position. That is the way the motor drives that wheel.
Oh, good. So we don't want to
right, you don't want to go backwards.
The motor.
Right. And you got to get it up where it's got plenty of room to operate. But now look, see these pieces, every time they move, we want to go from that position, a little squirt there, to the next position, and a little squirt there. Now we cleaned all of these, which is what I do for you when you send it to me, but you yourself can go in and find the dust rhinos and get rid of them. Now this movement that we talked about right here, we're going to try to,
a lot better than it was.
We're going to try to get the camera right down in there. Let me get in the light. And you see you've got slides down inside of there. So going from the electronic board, we're going to spray down inside, but we're going to spray toward the center of the machine. And that's
you don't really mean going from the board, you mean going from the end on which it's located.
Right. From the end where the board is, we're going to spray away from the board, but we're going to spray right down into this channel where those slides are. So we want to go down, we want to go over, and we want to go back. And that is the area that lets that move very smoothly. And I'll shut up so you can hear. There's just a little click as it goes into position.
Yep. Much better than it was.
That's what we want, and we notice no black trails. So basically, that is how you would lubricate your carriage. And I'm making it go through its motions really quickly. And if there was a particular area, such as the feed dogs didn't act like they were going properly, like this movement wasn't smooth and easy, then this movement right here needs to be smooth and easy. If that isn't, lubricate that area a little more every time you do. And I'm going to show you that movement. See, this slide is what we're moving, but it's also raising a post over here. Now you should be able to see the glisten of this lubricant. So we've lubricated this carriage, and again we're going to assemble it back and try it.
We put the carriage back together and it knitted like a dream. Jack's going to tell you more about the lubricants in the next video, but here's a reminder not to use petroleum-based lubricants in the manner he showed you here, because they can damage the electronic parts.